Okay.
Was that kind of like the make or break for you with Fnatic now? Is that just like did you just get to a point where like okay, like if I don't in-game lead, I might as well just go somewhere else?
Yeah, basically that. I already said before, or yeah, before the summer break, I told the guys that uh, maybe it's time for me to leave now because I had other stuff to do as well, and they really wanted me to stay for yeah, after the summer break until now to see if things would go better. Since obviously we didn't do too well in the middle of the year, so I guess we have delayed it until this break, and then here we are now.
This kind of feels like it was the inevitable then at some point, right? It was either going to be it just to me it sounds like it was either going to be you or Golden making way for one of you here to be able to in-game lead Fnatic going forward, right? Because they've made that change. We just saw them have their debut with Jackino just over the week, right? So, how long before this was announced to the public were you aware that this was going down? Was this decision basically made in your mind when you guys went on the player break?
Yeah, it was the same day as we lost to Virtus Pro in the Flashpoint.
Yeah.
So it was at the night thereafter. So we ended our boot camp and we started our player break. And I told the management, my coach, and our yeah, Jens, our bald guy in the back, you know.
Yeah.
So they knew right from the start of the break that this was probably gonna happen.
It's kind of weird, like listening to this now, like considering like going into the team, you wanted to in-game lead, and you were kind of not happy with the situation. When you think about all the results the Fnatic had, hello,
I think Chad just cut
we
out.
lost
You're
SPUNJ.
fine.
I just want to, yeah, from the outside, Fnatic looked like amazing, like everything's clicking, everything's on point, stuff like that. Because you had, like, I think 5 top 4s in a row. You won Malmo your first event, and then the first online event, which was Pro League Online Europe, you won that as well. So that kind of patch looked insane. Like, what was the situation in the team like on point, or was it still kind of off because of these things?
I mean, everything was fine for me as long as we were doing like really good, like top 4, even winning the Pro League middle of or yeah, early on the year. But then after that, our results were just declining all the time. So things were always like, I don't know how to say, but like it didn't feel good anymore, and I think it's like spread in the team as well. So as we got on with tournaments, doing poorly all the time, we just had a worse mentality within the team.
Okay, I think that right there is probably where we can kind of bridge this conversation into the online Counter-Strike, right? Because as you mentioned, it did start pretty good for you guys when we went online. Like you guys winning season 11 of Pro League. You guys were looking like you were having a lot of fun. You JW around knifing everybody, doing all your silly bugger business. Yeah, Brolin playing well, Crim's playing well. Look, when all of those results were going in your favor, did you have the online era in your mind? Was it like, oh yeah, we can get away with more of these cheeky plays, or online Counter-Strike, we can be a bit more filthy with how to do this? Or did you guys feel that you were hamstrung? Because the core of you, Crim's, JW, right? Like that's a LAN team. That's one of the OG kind of legacy teams that we talk about. Did you guys feel that you were hurt in the online era?
Yeah, definitely. I think we all think we were kind of hurt by it. I think the main reason we couldn't like keep doing really well is we couldn't really adapt to how other teams were starting to play in the online season. So I think mainly that was our problem. The first tournament that we actually won online was kind of a fluke, because I think we were in a bad situation. We were one match away from losing, and it was kind of I think we were about to lose pretty early on in the tournament, and then we just found our form in the middle of it. So I think we were just lucky to win that first tournament, and then moving on after that, we showed that we couldn't really adapt to it.
Okay. We had Twists on the show last week, and he was talking about like how certain things are different from online than LAN, and like holding certain angles is impossible because people are just going to wide swing and the delay and everything like that. What are some of the biggest things in the transition that you notice? Like obviously the crowd, obviously not having that noise and whatnot, but is there anything, maybe a finer detail that a general like player or a viewer wouldn't notice that was a big deal for you and your team?
Not really. It just felt like everyone got onto the same risk level that we were playing at on LAN. So like there was so much things happening that we couldn't like foresee and know that stuff like that this is gonna come. It's gonna come from certain players on LAN, but online everyone does it.
Okay, that's probably a good way of looking at it, right? Because we always talk about you boys, and we're like, yeah, they've got a lot of like Natty Chem back, obviously because of the call with you, Crims and JW, and then we talk about how you guys, well, at least this is what I say, like you guys like break the meta because you're doing so many risky maneuvers, or you're playing type of Counter-Strike that isn't always cookie cutter and by the numbers. So to have a lot of other teams, I've heard from people talking about heroic, taking a lot more risks and doing that kind of stuff. I can imagine if you're the ones who go from being used to making all the chaos to now the ones having to deal with everybody else doing the exact same shit, kind of takes away the trump card of the team a little bit there, right? So